Only 15,000 citizens populate the entirety of Brown County. Of those 15,000, 1,700 are students of Brown County schools. Our school district, under the leadership of our previous superintendent, Mr. David Schaefer, learned about a civics education program called We the People that was led by the Indiana Bar Foundation. Quickly, this program was introduced with our 8th graders at Brown County Junior High. And under the expert leadership of our We the People Jedi Knight, who's actually a teacher, Mr. Michael Potts, Brown County Junior High School students learn to think critically, make connections, and deeply understand the mindsets of the framers of our nation and the meaning behind the United States Constitution. The work of diving deeply into civics education through the We the People platform resonated in our small community. People started noticing and wondered what was going on in the classroom, where students shook the hand of their teacher and addressed him as sir. This inaugural group of 8th graders, and 8th graders ever since, worked hard. And their hard work really paid off. Would you believe this small little school, who many wrote off as being just Brown County, would ultimately claim 6 state championships, 2 national runner-up titles, and 2 national We the People championships. Brown County Junior High School, 250 total students, national champions. Civics education through the We the People program inspired a profound spirit of hope in our community that had previously been lost. Clearly, the culture of our schools changed. State and national championships aren't something that we're super used to around here. But what was also extraordinary to witness was the way the community rallied behind these young people, even beyond what you might expect happened when Milan headed up to face Muncie Central in 1954. You see, the free and reduced lunch percentage in Brown County schools is fairly high. Many of our students come from environments where parents or grandparents struggle daily to ensure that their families have what they need. Our community stepped up to support this team financially through countless fundraisers so that every student stood proud in competition in a sharp new suit, and every student could travel to Washington, D.C. with no concern for expense. Our community rallied behind this program in a way that no one could have expected. And I believe it's because our community really got it. They truly understood that a profound focus on understanding our role as citizens in this great nation matters. It changes the community. Hope is restored where it once was lost because the next generation of leaders understand how it all works. I love sitting in on We the People hearings. Witnessing our students making connections between the words of our founding fathers and their own experiences in America today is inspiring. Watching them engage in dialogue with their colleagues when they disagree, where they may say things like, "I respectfully disagree with my colleague for the following reasons." This sort of dialogue inspires hope for a nation where it seems that civil discourse has been filled with more fire than grace. We often say that any of our 8th grade students involved in the We the People program know more about the United States Constitution than most college graduates. They understand and respect the responsibility of being a citizen of this great country. They know that there is power in their voice and ultimately their vote. They use constitutional law to establish context. And they throw descriptions like marble cake federalism around like confetti. I could tell you a story today about every one of our We the People alums, but for time purposes, I'd like to tell you about Tanner and Marie. I'm telling you about Tanner and Marie because I am confident that you will know Tanner and Marie one day. Both are deeply passionate young people. I got to know Tanner when I was a new superintendent, and this young student of ours was a consistent attendee of our school board meetings. Nobody comes to school board meetings. I got to know Tanner and his family and learned that the We the People program made him deeply interested in local government and politics. He would go on to write and win essays for our local VFW's Voice of Democracy program, and he was awarded the Lieutenant Governor's Brilliant Firefly Award, by demonstrating outstanding community service, exemplary academic achievement, and exceptional leadership in our community. This was all inspired by We the People. Tanner is now at Purdue, and he will be running for, and he will win an elected office one day. Next on to Marie. I watched Marie's defense of her units during competition, and while doing so, I imagined her arguing in front of the Supreme Court. And then I checked myself and I readjusted that ideation. I imagined her instead sitting on the Supreme Court. I first met Marie during my first year as superintendent when she asked to interview me for her National History Day project. Very soon I learned that this wasn't an average middle school interview. I remember setting up a response to one of her questions like, well, there are these things called amendments to the Constitution. And very quickly, this 13-year-old cited cases like Tinker, Brandenburg, and Hazelwood. And I knew that this was going to be an interview unlike any that I had experienced before. Marie went on to slay her units during the We the People competition. She is a frequent medalist in National History Day competitions. She's earned summer internships as a high school student working for nonprofit organizations in Washington, D.C. Marie learned through her civics education that her government is by the people, and she's going to hold us to that, as she should. These stories represent two extraordinary young people who were fundamentally changed by their engagement in civics education. The good news is that these are two of many. One of my favorite parts of being engaged in this particular task force is that we were exposed to many other state and national civics education programs that are affecting the same sort of inspiration and engagement. It is such an exciting time for our state. The work of this task force, when realized, positions Indiana as a leader in advancing our democracy. It is a comprehensive approach, including the deployment of innovative civics education programs like We the People, and advances professional development opportunities for teachers so that our educators are positioned with the skills and resources that they need to dive deeply into this critically important work. Hope was restored in our community when we placed a profound focus on civics education. I expect the same for the great state of Indiana.